to another episode of Let's Make a Map with AbleHawk. Today I'm really excited to talk about triggers. This was one thing that I discovered in StarCraft, the StarCraft map editor, and it's been super useful. It's taught me a lot about logic. I have a coding job now today, partly because of the things that I learned while tinkering around in this map editor, and also the, what's it called, the Galaxy editor? Maybe it's just called World. I can't remember what it's called for StarCraft. Anyway, so today I'm going to go over a few different levels of complexity for triggers. I want to be able to be really simple for those who haven't had any experience with triggers, because it could be really useful. And then from there, we can have some more complicated ones, like a cool boss fight. And I realized last week that there's no way I'm going to get anywhere close to finished on this map. Like, I keep thinking that that we're gonna keep working on this and stuff, but it's not gonna happen. And so I just need to accept that it's probably not gonna happen. So let's just pick the best things to work on, basically. Let me introduce you first to the trigger editor. So on the trigger editor, you have 3 different things that you need to know about. There are events, conditions, and actions. So events are things that cause the trigger to fire. They're quite simply events. That's a good name for these, I think. Something has to set off the trigger and make the actions happen, and that's what the event is. A condition is a condition that has to be met in order for the actions to go. So an event might happen, but if the conditions aren't met, the trigger won't fire. For example, if you enter an area, if you want to make a person enter an area and then the gate opens, entering the area would be the event, and the action would be open such and such gate. If you wanted it to make it so that you had to have a key to open the gate first, then you could add a condition that said unit, the hero that goes up to the gate, has to have a key in their inventory. And that way, if you didn't have a key, the gate wouldn't open. So that's it in a nutshell. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult to wrap your head around what you want done, but honestly, practice is the best thing. So if you guys haven't messed around with triggers, or if they seem scary to you, I invite you to work along with me right now if you want, or simply just start out with the basics and stuff, because you can do a lot of stuff on here. So let's just start with something really basic. I think it'll be pretty simple if we just have it so that the gate opens up in the daytime, and then yeah, let's just do that. All right, so the event in this case would be, and these are sorted by their categories. So the time of day is just internally in the game, but there's also if it's a unit, event, player, that sort of thing. So game, when the time of day is 6:30, I wonder if it's 6.5? Yeah, so it would be 6.5. Okay, so half an hour after sundown, all of the gates close. So you go close, but this is super basic. So let's just select all the gates here and make each of them open up. Oh wait, I just realized that this is nighttime. So, oh yeah, never mind, close them. Yep, we're doing closing first and then open them. So again, these actions will all just, did I do that one already? 3, 5, 20. Okay, I think that's all of them. Okay, so there doesn't need to be any conditions for this or anything. Every time that it becomes 6:30 at night, all the gates will close. So if Dante, our hero, is out questing or something, then he'll get locked out, basically, if that happens. So actually, let's name it close. And then I'm just going to copy this trigger because it's very similar. Although now that I think about it, I'm going to have to change every single one anyway. Anyway, so at dawn, oh, I just realized that we're doing military time here. So it's actually 1850. So at night, everything closes. And in the morning, 6 o'clock, everything opens. So I'm just going to change each of these to open. Super basic triggers, but that's how it'll work. Every time that it's morning, the gates will open. At night, the gates will close. And they'll give everybody like a half hour extra just to get inside before they close the gates. So once you hear that wolf howl, you're like, if you need to go back to the town, then you can go and stuff. Quests, that's a great idea. Let's do quests. So let's just start by adding a quest. Oh yeah, map initialization is just where you want to start everything, like that's going to be set up before the game, like right when you start the game. So let's create some quests here. Let's create a required quest. And we didn't really think much about the story about this, but who cares? Basically, you need to destroy all the bosses that are causing mayhem in the world, and then they'll open the gates to the hellish area, and then you can go fight the demon. So let's just call this, like, I don't know, the Demon King or something like that. So you just have a title for the quest, and then you have a description. I'm not going to spend much time on this, obviously this is not that important, but the Demon King seeks to destroy all life, destroy his minions, and the path will open. I mentioned in one of my videos that ambush, do you remember ambush with like the shadow meld has always been the default icon? Yeah, it's right there. So it's kind of funny that that is that was whenever you open a new quest, especially in the Reign of Chaos editor, that was the quest icon, the only one that was available at the time. And at the time you couldn't just scroll through and look at all these different icons, like you had to know the path, and it was kind of frustrating. So for this one, I can't remember who's the Demon King again that we put for the boss. I think he's like Kill Jaden or something. Yeah, so for that, let's just make the icon be like his face. Okay, so there's Kill Jaden's icon. That works perfect for the Demon King. So you create the quest, and then you enable the quest. You can always change the description, change the title. Okay, so let's just see what happens. Like, just with that, let's see what happens first. So let's go in. I really hope that Warcraft 3 opens and stuff, because we had a little bit of problems with that last time, but I tested and we'll see if it works. Okay, that actually works just fine. So there's a quest, there's the icon, there's the title, there's a description. So what we need now is requirements, or objectives, or whatever they're called. Okay, so create a quest requirement for last created quest, which is the Demon King, and this one is okay, Sand Sting the Scorpion is the boss that I'm going to talk about. So we'll say defeat Sand Sting Giant Desert Scorpion. So that's one of the requirements. Now here's something that's really, really important for you guys to learn: variables. So we need to create a variable so that later on in a different trigger we can know which requirement that is. Like when you kill Sand Sting, we need to know, okay, which requirement did that fulfill. So, oh man, is it black again? Ugh. Okay, there it goes. Hopefully it'll stay that way, but I don't know. Okay, so we need to create a variable so that later on we can tell which requirement we're talking about. So there's tons of different kinds of variables. I'll probably go over quite a few of these because they're really important. But basically what we need is, so this specific one is a quest requirement. So this one will be called Sand Sting QREC. I don't know, just so we remember in case there's other variables after the Sand Sting. Alright, so we make that variable and we set that to last created quest requirement. So now Sand Sting QREC is this requirement. So when we kill Sand Sting, we can say mark Sand Sting QREC as completed, as a quest objective and stuff. And we can create other ones, obviously, like if this were a full map we would, like we'd say, what are the other boss names that we came up with? Malguir is that guy's name. So like defeat Malguir, the Golem, and so on, etc. And then we would make a new variable for that one. Alright, so basically that's how you create quest requirements. Let's make like an optional quest, because I want to test these to make sure they work and stuff. So let's do an optional quest titled artisan ship. So collecting raw ingredients can give you crafting options. And the picture will be, is there a flower one? Oh, I know. Death and Decay has a picture of a rose on it. There we go. That's actually kind of fun to do with the quests, by the way, is like be creative with the icons, like, because you're trying to illustrate what the quest is about, not necessarily like what specific units are in it and stuff like that. So sometimes you might have an interesting one like that, and it's kind of fun to like choose an ability or something that illustrates the quest pretty well. So collect a, we'll just start with one for now. Let's just keep it with World of Warcraft, Mage Royal. Let's collect a Mage Royal. We'll make a variable for that. Mage Royal cubic. So let's make an item that grows over here in these flowers called Mage Royal. Let's just make Mage Royal a power-up, meaning I don't want it to be in Dante's inventory necessarily. I just want it to be, it like disappears as soon as he picks it up, and then we'll just mark it in our triggers that he has it. So that flower, Death and Decay, perfect. And this is called Mage Royal. And I don't think we'll have to worry about that because you won't be able to buy it, at least yet. And then a flower useful in the brewing of potions. And then we'll take out the ability of chest of gold, so it won't give you gold coins. Well, so I don't think I talked about items last time. I should have a little bit, but description is what it says like when you click on it, and then this is like when you hover over it when it's in your inventory. So anyway. Okay, so flower useful in the brewing of potions. Okay, so we have our Mage Royal. So now we go to items. Here's our Mage Royal. Oh yeah, I forgot to change the model. So let's change the model to Shimmerweed. I think that's what it's called. There it is. Okay, so that's our Mage Royal right there. Besides, it's the same color as the roses, so I'm saying. Let's make a new one called Quests, or Quest Progress. Let's make a new trigger, and this event will be hero-based because it's whenever Dante picks up an item. Okay, specific unit event. So when Dante acquires an item. Okay, so that's the trigger. However, we don't want it firing every time he acquires any item. We want it to just be the Mage Royal. So you go to conditions and do item comparison. So this is the item in question. Item type of item being manipulated equal to Mage Royal. So this trigger is saying if our Swordmaster Dante acquires an item, and if that item, well, okay, when he acquires an item, and if it's Mage Royal, then do the following. Otherwise, don't do anything. So all we have to do now is say what happens. And so in this case, we want to make that quest requirement finished. So let's see, mark quest requirement as completed. So see, this is where variables are super important, because all it has, and it's the ones that you can collect, is last created quest requirement. So that could be anything, depending, and if we create more quests later on, that might change. So obviously, this is where the variable is needed. So we click the Mage Royal quest requirement, and we mark it as completed. And then we can also make a quest message. So quest update, quest requirement, what's the difference? I can't remember. And now this is a part where I'd have to look at a Warcraft 3 map and remember how it looks, but I can't remember. Anyway, we'll just kind of play it by ear. So quest requirement complete. And then after that we'll put collect a Mage Royal. Alright, I think that's how it works. Let's go ahead and move him just like out here, because we don't want to have to keep moving around to do all these quests and stuff. Okay, so let's see how that works. Alright, so here we are. And here are our quests. The Demon King, it's got those requirements, and here's artisanship. We got that one. So if we pick up this mage royal, there we go. Collect a mage royal. It is done. And if we look up here, okay, that didn't work. So we're missing something. Did I forget to set that as the name of the... Ah! I saved it as malware. So let's change that to mage royal. Okay, so that's done. Mark it as completed. That should be done. We should also flash the quest dialog button so that the player knows to check their quest, that it was updated and stuff. There we go. So now the quest is going to work. The requirement's going to be saved, and then here's something that I'm just going to kind of throw together. So check artisanship completed. So suppose that on artisanship we have collect a mage royal, collect some mithril ore, collect, you know, like collect one of each of these crafting ingredients, just to like help the player understand like what ingredients are useful for crafting. They might not do it in order, and so what we want to do is make sure that if all the requirements are done, then it'll mark the quest as completed instead of just like all the requirements done. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a trigger without events, but it will have conditions. This is where I'm going to need to make more variables. So I hope this doesn't get too complicated. I don't know how much you guys know about coding, but Boolean is simply a true or false variable. Something's true, something's false, and so you can check whether something is done. So in this case, mage royal done. So we will set it to true when he finishes this requirement. Starts out false. As soon as this is done, he sets it. In this case, the condition will be Boolean. So if mage royal is done, then mark quest as completed. I didn't save a variable for the actual quest. Artisan quest. In this case, the variable type is an actual quest, not a requirement. So we'll do that. So mark artisan quest as completed, and quest message, quest completed. That's more or less how they make it look on the campaign maps. So in this case, we could have all of the conditions for artisanship. We could have mage royal done is true, mithril ore is true. We could have all the conditions there, and with each of these quest requirement things, we would just run that trigger. Run checking conditions. And then also one thing that's important to do is a trigger will keep running every single time if you don't do this. Trigger, turn off this trigger. So once this trigger runs once, then you want to turn it off, because you know he only needs to get one mage royal. There's actually kind of a funny example of that in the campaign with David Freed, who made I think it's the second level of the Undead campaign. It's digging up the dead. If you go to the Pandaren relaxation area, it fires and says Pandaren relaxation area discovered or whatever. And you can actually keep going back and forth, and it'll keep firing because David forgot to turn off the trigger, and by the time he realized it, it was too late to like they had to send it to QA and stuff to publish the map in the game. So it's kind of a funny artifact of a bug that's still in there. So let's just try this out real quick. Hopefully my logic is sound, and if not, happens all the time. Big part of map design is just like figuring out what made it go wrong and whatnot. Okay, so here's the quest, artisanship, collect a mage royal, and then when you pick it up, look at that, it's completed. So yeah, so obviously that's a stupid quest if that's like one thing or whatever, but that's how it works. One other thing, and I hope I don't go off on too many tangents, but one thing we will want to know is, okay, I'm not going to make this complicated, but I would make it so that whenever you pick up a mage royal, if we are going to do it internally, we would have a variable called number of mage royals or something, and it would increment up by 1 each time Dante picked one up. And in this case, I would probably want it to be this one because it's the same event and condition, and then I could set, you know what, let's just do that. So let's make a new variable called number of mage royals, and this one is an integer. It's just a number. Starts out at 0, and we say number of mage royals, arithmetic, number of mage royals plus 1. So in this case, every time he picks one up, this internal counter will go up by 1. So he doesn't have to keep them in his inventory. It's just like a thing on the game. And if we have time towards the end, I might try to make like a leaderboard, like, you know how it has a little box up in the corner that says how many, you know, just kind of some information that they have on some of the quests. We could do that, but I haven't done that for a while, so I'm not really confident in that yet. Okay, so for now, we want to set it to +1 mage royal, and then we're going to do an if statement. So an if statement is a trigger within a trigger, basically. So it gets to this point, and if mage royal done is not done yet, then we do all of this. Otherwise, just do nothing. So basically what happens is, when he picks up a mage royal, it adds +1 to his number of mage royals that he has. And then if he hasn't done it before, if it's his first time picking one up, it'll do all that quest stuff, and it'll be done. Alright, so hopefully that makes sense to you guys, and I'll show you also as well what you can do on this. This is really weird having nested folders. I mean, that's going to be... okay, we're going to make some debug functions. When I first found out about this, I used it to make my own cheat codes, which is kind of funny, but the more I've grown, the more I realize that cheat codes are basically for debugging, like making it easier to go in and check for bugs. So in this case, let's check number of mage royals. So here's how you make like debug or cheat codes or whatever. So player 1 red, no orange. So when our player types in mage royal, I'll just do a dash to make it more of a debug thing. Then what we're going to do is show a text message that says you have blank, and this one is going to be convert integer to string, and the integer of course is number of mage royals. Mage royals. Alright, so basically what this will do is when you type in mage royal, it'll tell you how many you have. And let's just put a bunch of mage royals so that we can check to see if it doesn't fire every time. Oh, is my voice echoey? Ugh, I'm sorry. I'll try something in a second to see if I can fix that. Alright, so if you pick up 1 mage royal, you complete the quest. And if we type in mage royal here, you have 1 mage royals. And look, it's not doing the quest complete thing because as far as the trigger's concerned, that part is already done and the condition is complete. So if we type in mage royal again, okay, so apparently we messed up. I messed up. So let's see what we did wrong, what I did wrong. We're in this, we're on this together. Set number of mage royals equal to number of mage royals plus 1. Oh, I know what it was. Turn off this trigger. We do not want to turn off the trigger because this needs to fire every time. Okay, fixed it. So basically now it's going to count the number of mage royals. And then I don't know, if you wanted some kind of like a crafting system where it's like you go to the, if you go to the, I can't remember which shops we made, but like say the tavern or something and they brew stuff, you could make it so that if you have a certain number of mage royals, they'll brew it into a potion or something like that. So that's where that variable comes in. And then in that case, you could say if they buy this potion and they have 5 mage royals, then give them a potion and set the mage royals variable to mage royals minus 5 or whatever, like whatever the cost was. And if not, then give them a message that says you do not have enough mage royals or something like that. So that's the basics of quests. I hope that's enough for now. That's basically it as far as like it goes with requirements and stuff. You just have to have an event that marks it as completed, and it just kind of goes through there. I guess we should have checked to see if the gates worked as well. But we can check that in a second. So let's make, I'm just going to make, oh interesting, Moonlight copy. Let's just change this to Mage Royal patch. Let's have one called Periodic. So in this case, something happens over time. So the gates open every night, and let's make it so that, oh, we could actually just make it part of this trigger, never mind. So whenever he gets a Mage Royal, it sets it to 1, and then we're gonna make it so that it waits. For now, let's just do like 5 seconds. Like normally we'd have them grow back every like minute or something like that. But this here, so let's go for the action of item create. Let's create a new Mage Royal at a random point in Mage Royal patch. So basically every time that he picks one up, a certain time later it'll spawn another one, so that they'll grow back over time. Obviously want it to be a long time so that you don't just camp out and get unlimited, but that can be one that we can check as well. We could also do that with like enemies. Like if he kills an enemy, we could have it respawn a minute later or something like that if we wanted. Honestly, you can do so much on triggers. Okay, so that's how that works. I'm just gonna go through, like, let's take a look at some of the events. You can make things happen right when the map starts. You can make it so if a destructible dies, then something happens. Like if somebody breaks a gate, something could happen. The time of day, we've looked at that. When you load a game, when you save a game. Oh, I don't know if you guys remember Classic WoW, or I guess it's coming back now, but on Classic World of Warcraft, Warlocks had items called Soul Stones, and they, as well as other conjured items, like I think like conjured food and stuff that mages had, they disappeared when you logged out for a certain amount of time or something like that. So it's kind of funny, on one of my maps I made it so that when the player loads a game, it deletes, like it removes all their conjured items from their inventory, so that was kind of fun. Hero abilities button click. Some of these I don't really know why you would want to have them as an event. Like the hero abilities button is that like plus sign that you click and pick a hero ability, but I don't know what that would, what you would want that to trigger, but I don't know, maybe in a tutorial video. But build structure button clicked. I don't know what tournament event is. I think Blizzard just used that. Chat messages for cheat codes or whatever we were talking about earlier. Cinematic skipped is one I use a lot for debugging, especially when I'm making Easter egg videos. Basically, cinematic skipped is if the player presses the escape key. And the reason the way they have that set up is, obviously, if they have a cinematic going on in one of the campaigns, and you press escape, then it fades out and stops the cinematic, so you don't have to watch the whole thing. Selection event, when you click on a unit, there's a keyboard event. Unfortunately, all you can do is the arrow keys, which I think is dumb. I hope Blizzard updates this to have more keys, because then you could have like a game where you play, you know, like not a top-down shooter or anything, but you know, you could move stuff with the arrow keys and do abilities or something like that. So as for now, it's pretty much just the arrow keys and the escape button. But mouse event, when you click down, I think that's a new one. Mouse move, interesting. Player properties. Oh, this is an interesting one. If your current gold becomes a certain amount, that could be useful for certain things. Alliance change. If they change the settings. This is interesting. Why would you... Oh, interesting. So if you have victory, this would only be useful in a campaign. it seems, because like if somebody wins, then the game's over. But maybe if if they won, then you set up what game that they have next or something. Maybe you could set some conditions and check like how many points they have, or if they destroyed this building, then it's not there in the next map or something like that. I don't know. I haven't made campaigns, which I should sometime. Defeat, that's a weird one, because I don't think you can... Maybe you can make a level after defeat. That could be interesting. Like you have a map where if you win, you do one level, and if you are defeated, you go to a different level. I don't know. Alright, if the player leaves the game. Oh, I just realized that this would be useful for multiplayer maps. That makes sense. Time elapsed. So this means after a certain time in the game, something happens. That's pretty useful. Periodic event is every certain number of seconds per game time something happens. This can be useful for like checking conditions or something. We might use that in one of the boss fights. Timer expires. Oh yeah, setting a timer. You can have timers like when you're defending your base for however long. These are the ones you're probably going to use most. Specific units, like we did with Dante, a player-owned unit, so it doesn't matter which specific unit, but if a player owned by such and such player does whatever, or any generic unit. If a unit dies, if a unit changes owner or gains a level, these are really useful because, especially, like look at this, begins casting an ability. This means you can make an ability and then enhance it with triggers. Like if there are no abilities that work for you, you could say, if this character casts this spell, then have these things happen. You could have all kinds of stuff happen with triggers, which is pretty cool. Begins reviving, yeah, etc., etc. Enters region is really useful as well, especially for like cinematics. You're going to want, if there's like a choke point that they enter, then you could start fading out the screen and have some kind of cutscene happen. Unit's life becomes less than a certain amount. Oh, here's a fun one. Let's do this. Initialization. I guess this is kind of periodic. Alarm. This can be kind of fun. So let's say if Dante's life becomes less than... Alright, so if it becomes less than 50, sure. Then let's change his color. Change Dante's coloring to, and that's red, green, and blue, so we'll make him like slightly red when he's wounded. So when it becomes less than 50, he turns red. I mean, you could even have like a looping, like on Zelda, the looping like alarm sound when you only have a few hearts left. Super annoying, but you could do it here if you wanted. You could have it just start playing over and over again until he gets healed back up. So that can be called like alarm on. And oh, here's another thing that I'll look at in probably my next stream. I'm going to look at cinematics, but you can do fade filters. So I'm going to fade out with texture dream. There's a bunch of different textures. Like there's the whole screen. There's horizontal wipes and stuff. The dream is just like the edges of the screen, and we'll have it be red around the screen with 50% transparency. We'll see how that looks. So you fade out with that dream thing, and now if his life becomes greater than or equal to 50, no, 51. No, we already did less than 50, right? So, okay, so 50 or above, it'll be fine. Otherwise, he's like bleeding or whatever. We change the vertex coloring back to its normal coloring, and you fade in, meaning you get rid of the filter. And just for fun, let's throw in a sound, because that's always useful to know as well. Oh, here we go. Actually, that's kind of high-pitched. Yeah, I don't like that. Let's pitch it down a little bit. It's pretty cool. Not quite that deep, though. It's kind of cool. It's like a creepy dissonance that'll kind of scare the player, basically. Okay, so you play warning when he gets hurt or whatever. if we, I kind of wish I had imported some sounds beforehand, but it'd be kind of fun to like make a heartbeat sound or something, and I don't know, something like that. Anyway, so let's save that, and there's plenty of enemies to practice on with that, so let's test our quest. So we have the one where this respawns in a random place, the quest requirements. Oh, they have the gates. Alright, let's try that. So, let's see if this works. Pick up a major oil. Actually, oh look, there one grew. Let's see if it runs a lot at the same time. Oh, look. That's so cool. I've always wanted to do that in a map, but I don't think I have, so that's kind of fun. And if we check how many major oils we have 8 major oils. Okay, that's working great. Oh, dang. So, I guess we forgot to set them in the beginning as open, but let's change the time of day. There we go. Okay, so here it goes. Let's see if it works. Hey, look at that. So we can go inside during the daytime. Oh yeah, I got some new abilities for Dante, by the way. So this one's called Flash. It's basically blink, but it's like a little light effect instead. Alright, here we go. Let's go get Dante killed right now, but for now... Okay, so basically he has a half hour to get inside, which is not very much time now that I look at it, but... There we go. Perfect. Obviously, you can still break them down, but we can make them invincible too. We can do anything. That's what triggers are. Alright, let's go find some trouble in the desert, I guess. So yeah, while we're traveling there, the abilities I chose are Searing Blade, Flame Shield. Searing Blade we looked at last time. It's basically Acid Bomb modified. And then Flame Shield is basically Immolation, but I changed the graphics, so I'll just kind of show you how it works. Oh, we should have made a death trigger for him, like what happens when Dante dies. I just realized that. Whoops, okay. So here's Flame Shield. Turn it off. Alright. Man, I made this quite a maze over here. Spirals over the oasis here. Alright, cool. Kill me. Give me down to 50 health. Oh yeah, I forgot that we gave him a fireball attack for air units. This guy's really cool. I would love to make a map of this. Okay, here we go. Let's see if it works once he gets down to 50. Oh yeah, look at that. Everything got red. Oh, I hate how he doesn't have a death animation. Oh well. Anyway, as you can see, it's stuck on that because there's no way for it to turn off, but it works. And I actually like the look of that. The transparency is good. Yeah. However, 50 health is not very good because you die pretty fast when you get to that point. So I think we should change it to, let's try the percentage thing. So what you can do is arithmetic, unit property life of Dante. That's not gonna work either. Max life, here we go. Okay, max life of that divided by 3, 4. Should we do like 25% life? I don't know, let's do 3 for now. So whenever he gets to a third of his health, this will turn on. And it will turn off when it becomes greater than or equal to his life. So that'll work pretty well. Okay, so we have that, and we're gonna pick some more fights again. This is all like badly organized, but I probably should have made it like let's make one just for Dante. And let's make a death trigger for him. What will happen when he dies? Well, the short answer is anything you want. This will be a specific unit event. Okay, so if he dies, then we're going to fade out to black over 5 seconds, we'll say. Actually, let's say decays so that it waits for him to say our hero has fallen. So we fade out over 5 seconds. Oh, and also, I wonder if we should lock the camera on him. I'm going off on tangents, but this won't take very long. I have an idea. So, if a player presses escape, then lock camera to Dante. And then, okay, so there's two ways we could do this. We could do Boolean. Let's do Boolean. You could also just do two triggers, but this is probably cleaner. So we make a Boolean called camera lock, and you set it to true when it's locked to him. So we say if it's not locked, then lock it to him and set it to true. If it is false, then lock it. If it's not false, wait, so if it's true, yeah, then turn it off. Is there unlock camera? I think it might just be reset game camera. Yeah, so we'll just say reset. And then we set it to false. Okay, cool. So we fade out over 5 seconds, and then we wait 5 seconds. Okay, here's another thing that we'll talk about more with cinematics, but there's a palette called the camera palette. And we'll go to this point. So once the screen's completely black, we will apply that camera. And we'll fade in over just a couple seconds. Wait 1 second. Sorry if I'm going fast, like this is just all kind of intuitive. You can obviously like tinker it with it as much as you want, but then let's have revive Dante at center of. Let's have him respawn at the church. It'd be kind of fun. It's there, so we might as well have a use for it. So he will revive at res. So it'll move to this position with the camera, and then it'll revive him right there for us. Yeah, so that's how it'll work when he dies. You could even make like penalties when he dies. You could make it so that he loses all his... Oh, I know. This is... Sorry, I'm getting way excited with this because I love triggers and I haven't done this for a while. I don't know why. I don't know. I get caught up with other things, but this is just super fun. So I don't know if you guys have played Hollow Knight. I just started playing it recently, and it's one of the best games I've ever played. When you die on Hollow Knight, you leave behind like a ghost, and if you go back and defeat the ghost, then you get all your money back. So what we could do is we could make it so when you die, it waits like a second or so, and then it creates an item that's like a gravestone. Just copy Major Oil because this is just another like a useless item that's only used for triggers. Here lies Dante, the swordsman. As for the icon, it doesn't really matter, but I don't like that's useful in the editor, so yeah, let's use the graveyard. Why not? But the model, there's actually a really cool model that's used in the for the graveyard. Create corpse. See, look at that. It's a perfect grave. So that will be the item. Let's check to see how it looks first. Look at that. That's perfect. Okay, so you wait 1 second. It creates a tombstone. at the position of Dante when he died. Okay, so it creates the tombstone, and let's make it gold tombstone. This variable is an integer. So set the gold tombstone to be player's current gold. So we store Dante's gold in that variable, and we set his gold to 0. Then, when he picks up his tombstone, we can copy this from Major Oil. If he acquires an item, and the item is a gravestone, then we set the player's gold to the amount in the gold tombstone. There we go. And we could like make a cool like special effect if we wanted. That's another thing that's really useful, is special effects. So you can attach to different parts. When you do a special effect, overhead is obviously like useful for quests, like that little exclamation point. You could do chest, head, left arm, left leg, right leg. Origin, which is just like right at its feet. I think those are all the places. But let's do overhead, and let's just make it like be a. Let's do that. That's pretty sweet. I mean, you know, it's like he's back to life completely, sort of thing. And we could do other things too, like we could make him like slightly transparent until he goes back to his tombstone or something like that. That could be kind of funny. And I'm already thinking of like bugs that might happen, but if you die on your way to get the tombstone, we'd have to make a way to delete the other one. Okay, here's how we could do it. Pick every item in... Oh, wait a minute. Seriously? You can't do item type? Okay, well, I can work around that. So you pick every item in the playable map area and do the item type of the item that we picked. It's going to look at all the items on the map, and if one of them is the gravestone, then do remove picked item. There we go. So we put that before, obviously, otherwise it would just create it and then delete it. So when he dies, it looks for any other tombstones that are created, deletes them, you lose that gold, and then it creates a new tombstone. Perfect. So that's pretty fun. We can try that now. What about a way where the longer you take to get to the tombstone, the less gold you receive? Ooh. Should we be even meaner than we are now? Let's do it. Why not? This is where we're like just kind of experimenting, so let's do that. So what you do for that, as far as I know, and there are other ways to do this and stuff, but this is how I would do it. Let's call one called gold countdown. You can make a trigger not initially on. So let's start it out at the beginning, because you start out and there's no tombstone, obviously. So what we're going to do is the event is periodic event. What do you guys think? How fast should the gold deplete? Like one a second? We don't want to do that, right? Let's just do like one every 10 seconds. It doesn't have to be that bad. But we want to do set gold tombstone to gold tombstone -1. And I don't want like negative gold, obviously, because that could break the game. So instead, let's do if gold tombstone is greater than 0, then do this. Otherwise, don't do anything. So that means if it's 0, then here we go. If it's greater than 0, set the gold tombstone to that. Otherwise, if it isn't greater than 0, if you're run out of gold, then we want to turn this trigger off and stop, decreasing the gold, and we want to kill that item because you're done. Like you ran out of time. So now what we're going to do is death. It creates a tombstone and it turns on gold countdown. So that's how I would do that. I would like to make like a leaderboard, but I don't know, they kind of scare me. They're kind of difficult, and I can't remember if I know how to do it, but it'd be nice to show up at the top, like how, you know, how much gold you have left. For the time, why don't we just make a text message up here, and it will only be for like half a second. Like, it's not going to be that long, and it's going to say the number of gold tombstone. Let's just do that. Like, that wouldn't stay in the game, but it might be kind of cool to do that as well. A countdown timer. A countdown timer would be good, except we're not really counting down time. Well, on the other hand, like, you could make it so that it, you know, it like divided up the time left. You know, like it's like the number of gold times 10 or something, so you knew how much was left or something. So that could be kind of good as well. But and then you could have the timer say, you know, time until gold is depleted or something like that. That's a good point as well. Okay, this is fun. Let's get. We've made quite a few things for this part. Let's see how well they work. You know what? I'm gonna make it easier for him to die so we can test this. Okay, I put this campfire out here because I wanted like bandits or something. Because why not? So let's just make like this unstoppable force of bandits, like that you do not want to mess with. Let's see, is this the ranged one? Yeah. So these guys, you do not want to mess with this bandit game, but we're going to because it'll be fun. All right, let's see how this works out. I hope it works well. Okay, I will. Go ahead and go pick a fight. We'll give him a fighting chance with his flame shield. Oops, okay. Oh, this is going to be hilarious. All right. Okay, it's almost third. Oh, look at that. Oh, okay, there's no visibility, so that's... I think that it didn't trigger because he didn't decay because he's a hero. So that's one thing we gotta fix. Good to know. Death. If he becomes revivable. There we go, let's do that instead. Learn a lot with this. Alright. For my people. Look at that. Wounded. About to die. Okay, there it goes. See? We're fading out. Did not look as good as I thought. Oh, and we have no gold. Okay. The camera didn't work either, which was a little weird. Alright, we'll have to look at that, but... Anyway, he's revived. Let's go check and see if we can find that tombstone. Unfortunately, I forgot to add gold in the beginning. Here, let's add some gold. Whoops. Okay, we got 500 gold. Oh gosh, okay, we need to open those gates at the beginning. Oh no, it's invulnerable. There we go. Oh, you know what? I think it deleted the tombstone because I had no gold, so it was like nothing to lose. Okay, let's try this again. Okay. Okay, I still don't... I didn't see a tombstone there. I think we might be having problems there, but... Why is it not moving the camera? That's so weird. Okay. Okay, I have 500 gold left. So that worked. There's no more gold left, but... Okay, it's going down. We're losing our bounty here. Our wallet's burning up.
It shall be done. As you wish.
I didn't see a tombstone though. Did it not create one? Maybe it like went dark in the fog of war too fast. Except I think we died in the middle of their camp, so this ought to be interesting. There it is. Okay, so let's see how much we get. Okay, we got it. I love that. That is a cool mechanic. And yeah, it didn't happen the first time because it just simply didn't have anything to work. Okay, there we go. See, there's a bug where it's still counting because we never gave it a second method by which it could be turned off. So that periodic one is still just going to keep running forever, or at least until that variable goes down. See, as far as it knows, we don't have any gold. It's still just doing its job. So, okay, if he picks up the tombstone, then turn that trigger off. There we go. Cool, that's really fun. And then, yeah, we don't necessarily need that to show that text, but now we know it's working. That is really fun. So let me see here. You could even have a variable, like a Boolean variable that said if it's Dante's first time dying, then tell him what to do. Like, you know, go get your tombstone to, you know, get your gold back or something like that, and then it turns off. Like if that Boolean's off, then you know it doesn't say that. So that could work as well. I really like that though. You know what we could even do? Let's make a mini-map ping where the tombstone is too, so that they know where it is, like they remember where they died. So ping mini-map for player orange at a position of... Oh, you know what? I just found a better way that's cleaner and it doesn't make it look through the entire map. So, instead of picking every item, let's just create a tombstone and set it as a variable for an item. So you set tombstone as the last created item. And instead of looking through everything, you just say remove that variable tombstone if it exists or whatever, and then create it and set that as a new tombstone. Okay, that makes it easier because now all we have to do is, once the countdown is over or whatever, just remove tombstone. Ping minimap for the orange player at position of tombstone for whatever, yeah, 1 second, that's fine. 3 seconds. Cool. So it'll just keep doing that. Oh, you can ping it with a color. Let's do that instead. For 2 seconds, and the color will be like red, I guess, because it's, you know. Cool. Let's see if that works, but yeah, sure, why not? Oh, the gates. Almost forgot about the gates. Yeah, let's just, at the very beginning of the game, just run gates open without even checking the conditions. It doesn't matter. In fact, I don't think there even are conditions. Yeah, so just run at the beginning, open them all up. All right. All right, take two. Oh, it does sound better? That's good. That's really annoying. I don't like that fading in thingy. Oh, I forgot to check the locking camera thing. Nope, doesn't work. I wonder if I accidentally set it to like player one red, because that's, oh cool, look, it's pinging on the minimap.
It shall be done. For honor. For my people.
I like that. I haven't really messed with stuff like that before, but yeah, that's really cool. It's pinging on the minimap where you need to go. It might even be good to have like it reveal the visibility around the grave, just so you can see where exactly where it is. That could be something that would be good to do as well, but we'll see.
It shall be done.
Okay, there it is, and cool, that worked.
For my people. It shall be.
Let's have something fun. Let's do a boss battle. So, did I make a bridge here? I did. Okay, so there's a bridge there. There we go. Okay, so that's the bridge. Alright, let's make a new folder called bosses. Alright, this might be sloppy the way I'm doing this, but it's just kind of to save time. Basically, if all of these units, desert territory, the unit dies, owned by the enemy, and if number of units in the desert territory owned by player 2, if it's equal to 0, in other words, if there are no more enemy units in the desert, then we set the life of this bridge to 100%. So when the last unit dies in the desert, then that bridge will will get resurrected. So we'll start it out as 0. Alright, there we go. And I might make this like cinematic at some point, but like next time. But for now, let's just do this here. A send sting initialize. Okay, unit enters sand sting, and if that unit, the entering unit, is Dante, then what we're going to do is we're going to pull a Zelda and block off the path. So then the battle starts. What I was thinking for this boss fight, though, we'll see how well this works, is he's going to keep fighting you, and this like wind and stuff kind of gave me the idea that he has like a cyclone ability. So when he gets like to, when you knock him down 25% of his health, he's going to cast Cyclone on you, go over here and burrow into the sand, use his ability, and then a bunch of little ones are going to burrow out of the sand and attack you, and once those are dead, he's going to pop out again, and you can, it's like 4 stages of attacking and stuff. So once you go in there, the bridge falls, starts playing some music. I got some cool boss music for this. So I think that'll be cool. And it plays that music, and I'm gonna walk through a cinematic next time, because I think it'd be really cool if, like, as soon as you stepped over the bridge, it faded out, did like a camera thing where it showed the scorpion burrowing out of the sand and roaring or something, and then it started the music. But for now, we'll just keep it simple. Obviously, you can polish everything later. So we'll just make the battle music start and command the unit. There's a lot more unit triggers than I remember. Alright, issue order. Targeting a unit. Order Sand Sting to attack. Order Sand Sting to attack Swordmaster. Okay, so you stop the, you cross the bridge, the music starts, it starts attacking you. Now we want a subset of triggers for the Sand Sting battle. These are probably going to normally be off, I think, but we'll see. So Sand Sting's life becomes less than, I guess we could just do that same thing we did with, we could just do that same thing with Dante to save time. I kind of like that percentage-based thing. So Sand Sting's life becomes less than, you know what, let's just keep it simple. How much life does he have? 750. Okay, let's change his life to 1,000, just because that's easier to work with. And let's make it so he doesn't regenerate health. Okay, so if it's less than 750, then we're going to do this whole burrow thing. Let's just make that its own trigger, actually. So this one's not going to have any it's not going to have any events, because it's just going to be externally fired by that several times. So basically he's going to, I think there's a new trigger that I might want to use. Add ability. Okay, add, we'll do the neutral hostile one just because the other one might require an upgrade. So give Sand Sting the Cyclone ability. I don't want him to use it on his own. I want him to just use it on here to like stun you when he goes and burrows. I'm just going to make it so it doesn't cost any mana either, because I don't want there to be any issues there. Mana cost 0. Okay, so give him the Cyclone ability. Then issue order Sand Sting to cast Cyclone on Dante. He's going to cast Cyclone on Dante, and we'll just wait like a second or so for that to take effect. And then he's going to go, we'll say like his main place right there. Okay, so now we're going to order him after that second to move to that point. And then we could wait for him to get there, I guess. Okay, so we're basically going to wait until that region contains 1 Sand Sting. It's kind of hacky, but I think it'll work. Checking every half a second or so. So yeah, see, look at all these layers of triggers. This can happen sometimes with triggers, but I don't know. I think with practice, you can, like, anybody can get this sort of thing to work, because it's just a matter of, I don't know, just kind of looking at it from a logic perspective, I guess. Okay, I've even forgotten what I'm doing here. Okay, let's go back. So we need to check that he's in that region. So number of units in region, matching condition. Okay, units in burrow, unit type of matching unit. That's what I meant to do. Okay, matching unit equal to sandstone. Where are you? There he is. Okay, I think we did it. So wait until burrow has basically one sandstone in it, which is the only sandstone, obviously. Okay, so we'll try that. So it waits until he's there, and then it waits like another half a second or so just to make sure that it doesn't do anything weird. And then, okay, I'm going to try this. I think it might be easier for him to do a burrow ability, but I'm just going to try doing the animation. So stand, alternate, let's find his animation. Morph. Okay. We're going to wait for that point. And then we're going to play Sandsting's morph animation. And that morph animation is 1 second long, conveniently. So then we wait 1 second, and then we hide him. And then we wait another half a second or so. All this like waiting certain percentages of seconds is just kind of second nature to me at this point. Then what we're going to do is we're going to create a bunch of little baby sandstings. I'm just going to make a custom unit because, let's see here. Yeah, I'm going to do this burrowing one and then just make them really weak because we don't want them to be, we want to just kind of make it an interesting fight. We want them to have like actual crazy ones. These are going to be called Sandstings Young. These are going to be basically normal arachnothids, except which have like 25 hit points. They're easy to kill. But otherwise, I think they attack normally, and then their scale, we're going to make them really tiny. Just really baby. Alright, so back to the triggers. So he burrows, and then let's create like 6 babies. Burrowed babies. There we go, Sandstings Young. For player 2 at center of burrow. So it creates them, and then we're going to pick all those units, and this will be an issue with no target. So we're going to say pick every unit in units of type, and we're going to say, yeah, why does it, see look, it goes ability, item, unit, ability, item, unit. Like I wish they'd just group them all together, but with no target. And then we'll order the picked unit to undead crypting burrow. Unburrow. Okay. So we just tell them to unburrow. I should have done multiple actions, but I didn't, so I'm just gonna be lazy and just do this. And then you order them, you order all the picked units to attack Dante. Cool. Then, okay, so far he casts Cyclone, and we're gonna make this last, we're gonna make Cyclone last the perfect amount of time, so this will work well as well, but we'll just see how that works for now. Okay, and he's going to be invulnerable when he's a Cyclone, so maybe we should wait a second. Make them unburrow, and then make them attack. So this is, so he cast Cyclone. Oh, we can also remove that ability now that he has it. So that's 1 second, 2, 3, 4 seconds. So let's change that ability to only last for 4 seconds on a hero. Cool. Okay, so hopefully that works. This is like the most complicated trigger we've made, so obviously we're gonna need to test it and stuff. But pick every unit in that and tell them to attack. Then here's what we're gonna do. Unbury. This is going to be off, and we're gonna say turn on unbury. So as soon as those little babies come out, we're going to turn on this trigger, which says when a unit owned by player 2 dies, and we'll say number of units of type. So if any of his units dies and he doesn't have any babies left, then let's unhide him and play his morph alternate animation, which is him unburrowing. I have serious problems with animations sometimes, so I hope that that doesn't work too bad, but I'm going to unhide him. He's going to do his alternate animation, and then just to be safe, I'm going to reset his animation after that. Sometimes they like freeze in place after I do animation, so it's kind of annoying. Okay, so when that happens, he appears, and then we'll turn off this trigger. Yeah, we'll just again make him like attack Dante again. Alright, so now we just need to make it trigger that many times. So if it becomes less than 750, then run Barry, and then turn off this trigger. So once it becomes less than 3/4 of health, this runs, and that happens. Next is when he goes to half health, then run Barry. And then 3 is when he goes to 3/4 health, run it again, and then that should work pretty well. Okay, on paper it looks good. I'm not sure if it's going to work. What are his abilities? I just copied the most powerful one. Command Aura, that's it, huh? Yeah, let's definitely give him envenomed weapons. Cool, yeah, so he can have envenomed weapons. I also want him to have just like an active ability. Let's give him like Shadow Strike, like the Warden's ability, Shadow Strike. Is there anybody with... Cool, there's this neutral hostile. Okay, because he's got a cool like spell ability. Like he just shoots something out of his stinger like that. It's really cool. So that'd be really cool. Oh, I'll check to see if that has mana cost. Cooldown is 8 seconds, that's decent, but the mana cost should be nothing because I don't think he has mana. Perfect. Okay, so that works. That looks good so far. I'm not sure if it's going to work perfectly, but we'll try it out. In the meantime, we need to make sure that Dante can survive this fight during the debug. So I'm going to make a custom item called Periapt of Endless Life. So it's going to give him an extra 5,000 life. Because we want him to be able to survive this battle no matter how hard it is. We're going to balance it later, obviously, but for now, let's just worry about that. So we'll just give it to him in his inventory. Cool. So now he should be able to take him on. Let's see, anything else we need to prepare? One thing that I would also do at some point is, like, once you start fighting him, set a Boolean to let the computer know that you're fighting him, and then if you die and that Boolean is on, then it'll return Sandsting to full health. It will raise the gate, that sort of thing, and then you know, just make sure that like you have to fight him all over again and stuff. But for now, and then maybe it would even move the grave outside of his arena. So that would be fun to do, but for now let's just kind of keep it simple. Okay, now let's make some debug functions real quick. Desert clear. So once we type that, it will pick all the units in the desert territory and kill them. So that'll open up the gate, and then we'll see what happens there. Oh, I guess I do want to do one thing with his death, though. I want to make it so when he dies, it turns the music off. Is there a way to just set the music back to the way it was, and so it's not that boss music, or... I'll just do that, why not? Okay. So let's give that a try. Let's also just give Dante a scroll of speed so that he can move a little faster. And let's just move him a lot closer to the desert. Okay, cool. Ideally also with the quests, we would have a quest for each territory, like to unlock the boss, and then like once you defeat it, so you'd know when you defeated all the creatures, and it would say quest complete, the, you know, the way to the boss is clear, that sort of thing. But we can work on that later. Okay. Alright. I hope this works at least somewhat like we hope.
Let me face the devil. For my people.
Alright. Let's just make sure it kills them all.
It shall be done. I am not afraid.
Okay, let's kill them all, and I just want to make sure that the bridge spawns. Okay, that did not work. Made these too complicated without checking them first. Oh my gosh, I killed Sting. Okay. Kill picked unit. That's what I did wrong. That's hilarious. Okay. So pick every unit and kill everyone in the territory, not our Lord Sandsting, the boss here. One sec, I just want to make like a victory sound when you kill Sandsting. What's it called? It's like Uther arrives or something. There it is, Uther turns. And then we'll make Sandsting drop some cool like poison stinger or something that you can use as a like a shadow strike item that also envenoms your weapons or something. That would be awesome. Okay, now let's try it. Alright, let's try this again. Oh my gosh. I put myself there, so it killed me because I was on the territory. That's hilarious. You know what? That's fine, because I wanted to see how that worked anyway. Alright, and... oh, crap. Something's going on there. Why on earth did that happen? Okay, I think I know what happened. So this is where things get kind of tricky, but it's all part of the game. It's kind of fun. So why is this happening? Why is it creating those units and stuff and making them change? Because it's off. Ah, I'm an idiot. I changed it to Swordmaster instead of Sandsting. So I died and all of these things triggered. Computers are so funny. They're like, that's what you told me to do. He said when his life went less than whatever. That's what I did. So fair enough. It's true. He did. Alright, and then let's make his blink ability, flash, have just unlimited range. There. How big is that desert clear thing? I'm going to make this a lot cleaner later, but for now, let's just not worry about that. And then he can just be back where he wants to be, because that's where he belongs anyway. Okay, I'm pretty sure this is not going to bode well, because it was doing weird stuff when that thing started out, but... oh, and then also... okay. Okay, let's try it one more time. Desert clear. Didn't work. But that's okay, because we can just teleport where we need to be. So, yeah, I don't know why that bridge didn't respawn, but I can look at that later. Okay, so let's see if this works. Oh, this is intense. Oh crap, my Periapt, I forgot to update it. Okay, well, this is really cool anyway. Oh, I'm actually doing pretty good. Oh, okay, he tried to burrow. Okay, he burrowed, that was awesome. And there come his babies. Except why'd they re-burrow? That's weird. Okay, this is really cool. He didn't cast Cyclone though. Where is he? Did it work? Oh, I wonder if he... Oh, that's... I wonder if this screwed it up. Die. Okay, did that change anything? Sand Sting. Hello? Oh my gosh. I think he's attacking me, but he's hidden. No fair! No fair, Sand Sting. Yeah, he's invisible but attacking me, so that's pretty weird. Okay, well, that actually worked better than I thought it would for our first run. I don't know why he didn't cast Cyclone. I don't know why the babies kept burrowing and unburrowing like that. Play his morph animation. So that worked really well, actually. Okay, you know what? For now, let's disable these Cyclone things. Instead, let's just make Sandstone invulnerable. Sand Sting, rather. So what you can do is you can just make units untargetable, basically. Make unit. Okay, so make Sand Sting invulnerable. And I'll make sure that when he is... See, it should have unhid him, so I don't know why that didn't work, but make him vulnerable again. First, before anything else, I need to make sure I fix this parry up here. And I'm just going to get rid of this guy because he's problematic with his reincarnation ability. So he burrowed, which was fine, and then the babies came out, which worked way better than I thought it was. That was really cool. They unburrowed, and then why didn't they just attack? Maybe I just need to wait a little bit. I just figured, like, when it dies, and then after it dies, there's none of that. But I'll just do equal or less than 1, just in case. And maybe that's why the... Yeah, maybe that's why this didn't work either. That's a good point. Less than or equal to 1. Alright, let's try that. Okay, I'll give this a couple more tries if we're close, but I think it's about that time that we should finish up for now. This was so fun, though. I really enjoyed making some of these triggers. I hope they were clear to you guys. Won't be able to see you guys chat for now. Still didn't work. Okay. Whatever. Let's just stick with the program here. Okay, here we go. Here it comes. His collision is way too small. Like, I'm just like under him attacking him. He needs to be a bigger circle. So, okay, cool. So I can't attack him until he goes. He burrows. The babies come out. And then they go down. I do not know why. Stop it, you little weasels. Okay, there he comes out again. So we can at least... So something's working, but... Okay, there he goes again. Goes to burrow. I also probably need to pause him so that he can't attack while he's doing that, because he tried to attack me instead of burrow, which is kind of funny. Ah! Why didn't he get unhidden? That is the weirdest bug. Okay. So let me check the unhide bug thing real quick. I wonder if there's just an easier way to do this. Like, maybe I'll just take away their burrowing ability. Oh, that's weird, yeah. Okay, so disable ability true, hide UI true. Okay. Let's just try that and see if that stops them from burrowing. I don't know if it will or not, but... So unbury just triggered as soon as it... So number of units owned by player 2 blue of type sensing young less than or equal to 1. So I don't know why it appeared before there was more than 1 left. Maybe it was because they weren't burrowed. That might be the problem. I don't know why that would make a difference, but I guess we can try it. And then unhide. Why didn't it just unhide? Whatever, let's just try one more time. I also don't know why the bridge isn't coming back to life, but whatever. Okay, last time, and then we'll call it a night. Next time we'll make some cutscenes, and I'll show you guys how to use like cameras and stuff like that, and we'll see how it works. But so weird that that doesn't happen, but whatever. Okay. On guard, Sandstein. There he goes. Burrows. They come out, and then they attack. Okay, I'm glad that works. Oh, and then one pops out. There's something so weird about that. Okay, there he goes again. This is so cool though, because I mean, okay, there he is again. Okay, cool, cool. This is working out pretty well actually. Start like burning them, see if that helps. It's kind of fun to fight like with them attacking me too though, so I don't know. This is last batch of babies, and then he should die. Here we go. Nice. Oh, now it comes up. Okay, there must be something with the triggering mechanism for that one, but that was pretty cool, guys. Oh no! Oh my gosh, I love triggers. So funny. Okay, that was not bad. And yeah, I don't know why that's not working, and I don't know why it triggers with the babies and stuff, but I can look into that. Overall, that was pretty freaking awesome. That felt much more like there are just not very many boss battles at all in the campaigns on Warcraft 3 that are like that, you know, with the like different stages sort of thing. It's just hack, hack, hack till they die. Especially like the Forgotten one on you know, whatever it's called, the Undead campaign on Frozen Throne. Worst boss battle ever. Like, he's immune to magic, so you just hack at him till he dies. It's so lame. But like, that was a fun battle. Once I fix this up a little bit, I think this will be really fun. Yeah, so basically the thing was Sandstein initialize. Yeah, just turn this trigger off when it happens. So okay, I think we will call it a day for those triggers. Super fun, you guys. That was a fun stream. I hope you enjoyed that. I really enjoyed it. There's so many more triggers that you can do. We might, who knows, maybe I'll make another stream like about like more advanced triggers like leaderboards or something like that. I don't know, but I hope that at least kind of gave you guys a taste of what triggers are worth and what scope they can make. So we made some pretty cool stuff, especially that boss battle. I'm really excited for that. So okay, have a good night, and I'll see you guys next time.
Job's done.